This video is all about music in videos. And in this video, I'd like to show you some of the videos that I made and how I found the right songs to match what I'm trying to say with the video. And sometimes I make my own music, but most of the times I pick and choose music from Epidemic Sound. This video wasn't sponsored by Epidemic Sound, but it's just my choice. And there are others like Artlist, like I think Storyblocks has music too. And you can pick whichever of those platforms you like. But I want to talk about the process. How do you actually find the music that fits what you're trying to say with the video? And first of all, I want to show you this one. This short I made a while back where I composed the music myself, because it explains a lot what I'm trying to convey with this video. Let's have a look.
Danke, dass Sie das machen.
So this video has got a lot of things that I want to talk about in this video. So if you pick music for your videos, I don't know how you do it, but for me, there are some elements that I always look at. First of all, is pacing. What is the pacing of the sound of the music? In this case, of course, that was defined by my clapping. And as a side remark, the way how I made this, I started with making the music. I didn't have any idea what this would actually go into. So I started with the clapping, started with playing on the keys. And then after a time, I realized this would be a video that I could use that for. And by the way, this whole project took me, I think, 2 hours in total. And all the projects I make, they're rather small. But pacing is the first thing that I do pay attention to. How fast is the music? Because then this kind of defines the speed of the cuts. Because if your cuts match the music, it's called match cuts, then you have the effect that it feels like it all fits together. Like here, when the cuts were exactly matching the claps. Then there's something else that I worked with in this very moment, because for the blink of an eye, the music actually stopped. And this is the next thing that I pay attention to when I pick music. I pay attention to the loudness. And sometimes you will make a video and you will want to stop the music for a specific effect. And this creates tension. So in that case, I had a quote from a friend of mine. It's in German. She says, "Thank you very much for taking care of that." This is a very, very old video that I made a few years ago. By making that break in the music, you can emphasize what's happening and create tension for what's happening next. And I said in the beginning, I want to look at a few examples. I have another example where I did that recently, just to show you the point. This video is also in German. I released it on LinkedIn, and I found a song that matched the emotion that I'm trying to convey, the emotion that I'm trying to bring across. And how do I actually find those songs? And let me know how you find the songs that fit your videos. In my case, when I think about the video, sometimes I will already start scrolling through Epidemic Sound and then find a song that actually matches what I'm trying to do. In that case, the video was shot. So I just produced it, and then I headed over to Epidemic Sound and just went through a few of the genres to find a song that was fitting. And that was the result.
Du kennst sie, die Frage aller Fragen, wenn es um die Produktion eigener Videos geht. Mache ich lieber gleich 10 auf einmal oder mache ich lieber Videos Stück für Stück?
And here I did something, because in the original song, after that last note, the break wasn't as long. But I added a break in the song in order to have more tension. Now the song goes on.
Und wer hätte es gedacht? Es kommt natürlich ganz drauf an. Ich war jetzt 2,5 Tage unterwegs und bin mit meinem ganzen Equipment 1500 Kilometer mit dem Auto gefahren.
So, a song conveys so many things. And in that case, I think that was my intention. In the beginning, the tension is rising for what's coming.
Du kennst sie, die Frage aller Fragen, wenn es um die Produktion eigener Videos geht. Mache ich lieber gleich 10 auf einmal oder mache ich lieber Videos Stück für Stück? Und wer hätte es gedacht?
And then the general vibe here is very relaxed, right? We've got this tension in the beginning. What's coming? What is the answer to that question? And then we continue with a very gentle and chilled vibe. Because then I talk about the question that I asked in the beginning. And for those of you who don't speak German, it's about when you're creating videos, should you rather make them as a bunch or create them one by one by one? In my case, I create them one by one, because then I can always transport what's currently happening in my life, in my brain, and not just repeatedly create stuff that you could also get from a conveyor belt. So this was the idea of adding tension in the beginning and then adding a break. And so I tried to use this song for that. And something that I would like to talk about now is sometimes when I make videos, I start with the song. And whatever platform you're using, could be Epidemic Sound, could be Artlist, like I said, could be Storyblocks and the others. I recommend you scroll through the songs that are available more often than not, and actually look at what's there and try to think of images in your head that the songs will make. And that's something I do when I have time on my hand. I will listen to songs that fit like my genre. And in my case, and in the case of Epidemic Sound, there is something that I really like. These are recommendations based on what you have in your YouTube channel. If you publish music, if you publish videos with music from Epidemic Sounds on your YouTube channel, then you will get recommendations based on the songs you're using. And I think that's a really helpful feature. And so when I listen to new music, I will go through those songs and then also use the button Find Similar if I find something that I really like. And I just came across that song, which I will use in a video reasonably soon. Let's listen to a few seconds of it. Maybe this far. Now, I remember when I was at school, we had an exercise that we did in musical education, where we would listen to songs, classical songs, and while listening to them, we had to write down stories that came to our minds. And I remember that I could quite often surprise our teacher with the stories that I made up. So maybe my brain is just wired that way and it works pretty well, or you can do the same thing. And I'm pretty sure that with a little practice, you can do the same thing. And what this means is that you listen to the song and you think about images that this music could support. And in my case, of course, what we just heard, it again creates tension. It implies speed, right? If you combine the music that you just heard with slow images, there won't be a fit because the music is just moving and progressing too fast. Now, what comes next is that in addition to that tension, we have more speed and more emphasis on the speed. So what you could do there with the music is to match cut images to what we're listening to. Let's listen in. What we've listened to until now it's a preparation, right? You hear that it's preparing you for something. And that's why I find that song very interesting and why I think that I want to use this for something. So, for example, the images in my head for this song so far is somebody getting ready for something, somebody getting ready for running, for example, somebody getting ready to cycle, for example, or already going out to do it. And when I just heard that song, the images were already in my mind. And well, one day I'm sure I'm going to use this for a video. Now here we are at the point of the first climax, right? It's preparing us for the first climax because there's a small bridge in there. And now comes the part of the first resolution, right? Until here was what's happening. We're being prepared for something that's about to happen. And now if you think about, I don't know, aviation, now we're going to fly, right? This means wide shots, look at something from a distance. We see the full effect of what's happening, what we've been prepared for. Slower, maybe fast movement, but slower camera movement and stuff like that. We could go on for the whole song. I just wanted to give you an impression how you can do that exercise. Sit down, listen to the music, write down what comes to your mind. And next time you create a video, you will be able to use the song. Use that song. I think it's very interesting to make that exercise. Simply because good videos and bad videos, the difference is how music is used and if it's used properly, and sometimes you will just feel that it's wrong. Of course, you can also throw off people by not match cutting or overpacing the song and underpacing the video. You can do that, but people will rather feel uneasy. They won't be happy with what you're doing. There's another example that I wanted to show you, which is this one, because it's another example of where I'm making my own music to show what I'm trying to convey. Fully myself, and so I don't think that I can support you in the way. Actually, the way how this video was created, I made it 3 months ago. Again, it took me maybe 2 hours. And I wanted to have the effect that you just heard, the effect of a phone call. I wanted to begin it very slowly with a phone call, and then the music should kick in. And that's it. That was what I started with. And then I sat down, took my guitar, and made this.
That you need to get your story out there. So maybe we should postpone. I'm not a machine. I'm a human being with emotions, with ideas, and with flaws. Sometimes I get the feeling that being a human being isn't required anymore, isn't necessary anymore, and there is in fact a much more efficient and automatic way to get stuff. So what I'm trying to do with these kind of videos and the combination of music and video is to suck people in a world. And this is actually why I think music is so powerful and the use of music is so important for videos, because without music, you won't be able to do that. And another example where I tried to do that was with a short where I tried to pick some sad track. So I'd like to show you this one too. I want to hear a thing. Ow! Really? I hate being down here. Where are we going anyway? There is a reason why I'm making this video in exactly the way I'm making it. Because I love the way how quickly a video can drag you into a story, how quickly you can transport somebody into another world. And the space I'm sitting in right now is a space where I want to practice that with people who also want to tell their own story, who want to find a way to make it visually interesting. And so again, here the music is trying to convey that message of loneliness, somebody being down there in a backpack. And the idea for the video was more or less, it was born by, I actually don't know how it came to me, but I had the idea of producing something in a very tiny space, or at least give it a feeling of a very tiny space. And this is the effect. And this is how I picked the music for it. And look, if you've watched until here, you know that my channel isn't big. I'm not a big YouTuber. I'm not really big in the YouTube game, and I'm aware of that. But I like to make things, and I like to make them in a way so they feel right. At least they feel right to me. And if you've watched until here, please let me know if what I'm trying to convey is actually coming across. And if you have the feeling that the things that I'm making actually do that, actually fulfill that job. Because quite frankly, I mean, I'm talking about it and I made it and I think it does. Please do let me know if that actually does. And what most of the stuff that I do does is sometimes a bit on the sentimental side. I love more sentimental tracks simply because the emotion is most of the times more fitting to my own state. And it's the same with the video that you might have seen or not. It's 8 months old. And I want to mention one thing here. Have you ever thought about the facts that you are indeed unique? That there might be more than 8 billion people on this planet, but there's... So far, I'm interrupting here. Sorry, if you wanted to watch, please do. The thing that I like to play with, and I don't know if you do too, is to begin with silence and then add music. This is a theme that I just like, because the silence in itself creates tension. The silence in itself
kind of frames the video. And then when the music kicks in, it gets a new direction and it gets speed and it gets a pace. And this is why the majority of the videos that I make have that character, and I'm trying to do it that way. Now, this is all I wanted to say in this video. This is how I pick music. This is how I make music. And I do hope that you could take away some of the stuff that I do and you can then implement it into your own workflow. I think that this is one of the most important steps to do when creating your own videos. Of course, if you want people to see and watch your videos, you have to take care of thumbnail and title and all that stuff. But I do think for the experience of the video, the music is the most important thing. And yeah, if you liked what I just did, if you learned something, please consider subscribing. Check out Epidemic Sound. I'm a huge fan. It's not sponsored again. And have fun creating your own videos, and don't look at the numbers. Look at the emotion that you're able to create, because I think that's more important than the numbers. At least that's my understanding. Have fun making your own videos.